compliment. For that, I thank you.
What is happening now? There are hopeless and hungry.
Now it's time for us to stand up to God or we'll fall to nothing.
It's time now for Radio Cayman's Talk Today. If you're ready to talk, we're willing to listen.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today.
Listening to the general public, what the public is saying.
And good afternoon, Radio Cayman Nation, and a happy Wednesday to all of our loyal listeners. As always, you're tuned into the station of the nation, Radio Cayman, and I'm Raymond Singh, filling in for Mr. Sterling Dwayne E. Banks. Thank you for letting us into your homes, cars, and offices for today's episode of Talk Today. We have a lineup on today's show, and we'll be hearing from the Cayman Drama Society on their new play titled Into the Woods. As well, we'll be meeting with the community members behind the Scranton Community Committee, and then the HSA's new addition of a full-time medical hematologist-oncologist. As always, we do welcome your feedback and questions and invite you to join the conversation. Simply dial 1-800-534-8255. That's 1-800-534-TALK or 949-8037. Stay tuned for Talk Today following this brief disclaimer.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today, the Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program. We ask our listeners to avoid statements or comments which are abusive, derogatory, malicious, or defamatory. Do not use any indecent language or make any statement which is false or misleading. Email talktoday@candw.ky or call 1-800-534-8255.
Courtesy of Live Communication.
Let your voice be heard.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today.
And welcome back to Talk Today. In case you're just tuning in for today's show, I'm your stand-in host, Raymond Singh, filling in for Mr. Sterling Dwayne E. Banks. And we have in studio actress and co-director Terry Quape, actress Vanessa Hansen, and producer Cherie E. Banks for the new play Into the Woods. Good afternoon, ladies.
Good afternoon.
Welcome. And I said everybody's name correctly, right?
Yes, just about.
Just whose did I not fully get?
Sherry.
Sherry.
Yes.
Okay.
It's spelled Cherie, but it's Sherry. But no, that's fine. I'm used to it.
All right. Thank you. Well, welcome again to Talk
Thank
Today.
you.
And
We really appreciate you guys having us on.
Well, thank you. And you know what? We do often feature a lot of the arts and musical events that are going on, and we have an affinity for a lot of the community activities. And CDS, the Cayman Drama Society, puts on quite a few activities throughout the year. So walk us through Into the Woods.
We're going to be we're celebrating our 50th anniversary next year, so we've been around for a little while.
50 years. What was the first production?
See How They Run in 1970.
See How They Run in 1970.
See How They Run, and it was put on at the Victory. Was that at the Victory Theater? It was put on at Georgetown Town Hall, which is now Constitution Hall, in 1970.
I write all the vignettes for our Cayman National Vignette series. I would love to do a whole series just on the launch.
We could do that. Yes, next year. Yeah,
that
well,
can be
for it.
arranged.
Yeah, we can arrange that. But yes, Into the Woods. It's a little bit more than a play. It is a full-blown musical. It'll run for about 3 hours, but if anybody saw the movie, which came out about 4 years ago, maybe more, which with Emily Blunt and Meryl Streep and James Corden, and it was the Disney version of Into the Woods, which was magnificently done, but it was not the original theater adaptation that was written by Stephen Sondheim and James Lapine. So it's dark, but it's a lot of fun. And it's really basically about the baker and his wife who couldn't have any children, and a witch plays in who had something to do with them not having any children. But it's also the tales of Rapunzel, Cinderella, Little Red Riding Hood, and Jack and the Beanstalk. So they're all intertwined. And it's there's a couple of themes throughout it. I won't say all of them, but one of them is what happens after, happily ever after.
So what happens after we say I do?
Yeah, there you go. I didn't even think about that part.
Either the dream or the nightmare that ensues following, right?
Exactly.
So walk us through a bit of the history, because you mentioned that this was based on a movie, which was based on a play.
It was originally based on the play, and I say it's Stephen Sondheim is one of the, I think, probably the most talented and best musical writers, or writers of musicals, or however you say that, ever. And his writing, his music is very complex. Some of it's not melodic at all. But it comes through, and there's always these
he
themes.
messes with his singers a little bit.
You
want to breathe?
And
no breathing for you, not today.
And he's other. I don't know if other people have seen Sweeney Todd, for example. He did that. That was on. That was also a movie after it was the stage performance with Johnny Depp. Johnny Depp actually also made an appearance as the wolf. In Into the Woods in the movie version. Disney, But Stephen Sondheim, he took this. Into the Woods is probably the most complex and complicated musical that has ever been out there. It's not, like I say, the music is not straightforward, and he really messed with the actors and the singers in this one.
And the musicians.
And the musicians. And, it has been something, Chuck and Barry Coipé are the musical directors, and it's something that has been discussed and being put on for probably 8 or 9 years at CDS. And it's because it's so complex, and both Barry and Chuck are extremely talented musicians. They've done a lot of musical direction for CDS over the years. And, basically they said, no, it's too complicated. It's too difficult. We could never do it. Nope, can never, ever do it in the Cayman Islands. And then about 2 years ago, they basically said, yeah, I think we can do it. And then the next challenge was trying to find the talent to be able to fill the parts. And as I say, the singing parts are very complicated.
Did the difficulty of it get watered down any in order to make it work here?
Absolutely not.
Nope.
No.
So we're going full tilt.
We have got Terry is a co-director, Barry's the co-director, and Chuck and myself is even producer, even though I had nothing to do with the talent part. You could say it's a group of perfectionists that have done this, and they're not going to water anything down.
But I think I appreciate that. When Chuck says no, that's no, those
Keep
are
going.
not. Let's go back. This is this is your harmony, and this is you want to be able. You want because you can't. Sometimes you can't even. You don't always hear it right. And you're like, is that the right, I don't even know, is that the right note? And so you want someone to go, no, this is it. And to work you, because you want to put your best foot forward and you want this show to be what it's meant to be. So I'm grateful for that.
Yeah.
Perfectionism, is perfectionism a word? I'm not sure.
We can do whatever we want. This is our show, right? So how long have you actually been rehearsing for this? 'Cause this is actually quite a bit of...
We did auditions end of January, and we started rehearsing a week later in February. We did music rehearsals initially with the actors at Mom and Dad's house, Chuck and Barry's house, and then we moved to the Playhouse to start blocking in June, beginning of June, end of May.
To start blocking?
Yeah.
So blocking is to show the movement on the stage. Okay, and, it's kind of like that thing when you're patting your head and rubbing your stomach at the same time. You get on all of a sudden, you're told where to move, and the music you thought you knew when you were singing it when you're sitting down is just kind of, oh, okay, you wanted me to move over there, but then I'm supposed to sing this. And, it kind of...
So what you're saying is you can pat your head and rub your tongue at the same time?
I can't.
Because
that's why I'm not in the show.
Are live streaming right now, so I wouldn't doubt that the internet would love to see who could actually do that.
The actors can.
I know I can't. I think Susan Watson said she can do it. No, she's shaking her head. She can't. Sorry, not to take off the blocking.
Yeah, no. So it is. It's that process, but it is an entire process. And because the music was so challenging, it's absolutely brilliant. The harmonies and
Freudian slip.
I am going to. I have a real faux pas. Was it a Freudian slip? The music is so challenging. They really needed to get everybody together to really work on it and try to nail it down before they got into the theater. And I think this is one of the things with this show that is going to make it magnificent. I mean, when these guys, it's magnificent visually, it's magnificent audibly, and just the entire experience. I mean, from the moment you walk into the theater, you're entering the woods. And then from the very first scene, when they start to open their mouths, it's going to blow people away, I know. And I don't think that people are going to really appreciate the level of talent that we have in Cayman.
And it's really it's an ensemble cast. You know what I mean? I mean, it's not, there's no one...
Yeah, no.
Major league.
Into the Woods, there's so many, because all the fairy tales have intertwined, you can't pick a lead role. people over the years
course,
have gone,
yes.
oh, well, it's the baker, or it's the witch, or it's, Cinderella, or it's this one, it's that. It's not. Everybody's got almost the exact same amount of stage time and solos and all this kind of stuff. So there is no true lead in this show. Like many of Stephen Sondheim's shows, like the show Company, there's no lead in Company. That's a very ensemble show.
Yeah.
So same with this one. There's no true lead in it. There's a couple more supporting roles that are around the core, but there is no true lead in the show. There's a lot of different, just the main group that's everybody's just jumping in there, and we've got all the different times going in. We've got one song called Your Fault that is just, that song to do itself musically is very difficult, and you have to get a good group of actors and singers that are just talented enough to get it timing-wise, because that song is all about timing, because they're all speaking at the same time,
all
but
singing over each other,
perfectly different, like at the same time, but completely staggered about, so that it's like absolutely done perfectly, so that it sounds like one big argument and conversation, but it's done musically.
Of
so
course,
they're singing. So it's a
and you can
brilliant song.
understand. So a lot of times when you have those, it's not a mob scene, but when you have a scene like that and everybody's talking, you can't understand because it just comes out as an overall mumble. But because of the way it's staggered, you can actually understand. And just in terms of understanding, and I sort of mentioned this to Vanessa earlier, this is a show that you actually want to see twice. And I know, people look at me and then think, well, but the first one is really the wow, and I can't get over it. She's just looking at this and just seeing it and hearing it. The second one is to go watch it and really find out what the story was about. Because it's
I have to go watch it twice. But not to take that away. We do take a break in just a moment. But was the casting difficult for this element?
We had quite a few people come out for like the same role. We had a lot of girls come out for Little Red Riding Hood.
Okay.
And then we had one girl who's Jardé Barnes, who's playing Little Red in our cast, and she walked in and she embodied the role. She was Little Red. There was no other choice but to have her be Little Red, because she is Little Red. And the fun fact about her is that it's her very first time performing on stage.
She's amazing.
She's never done it before. Yeah. She has no professional training, nothing like that.
And she told me the other day she almost did an audition. And
Yeah.
it's like,
she was reincarnated from Little Red Riding Hood.
Yeah.
I can't imagine
She's
anybody else in that role. Yeah,
She's a natural.
If you actually hear her voice and you listen to the original Broadway recording, the voices almost exactly match. It's crazy.
Oh, that's pretty impressive. Let's get a quick commercial break. When we come back, we'll be hearing more about Into the Woods. Be back with more talk today right after this.
A caring and community spirit, cherished family and cultural values. These are some of the things that still embodies the Caymanian way of life in the Eastern Districts today. Savannah Pharmacy, your neighborhood pharmacy, located in Countryside Shopping Village, is delighted to offer products and services of real value. Whether it's catering to your family's medical needs or carrying apparel, gifts, and beauty products, Savannah Pharmacy provides you with more than just prescriptions. Remember, they're always just around the corner with everything your family needs and convenient opening hours, including Sundays and holidays. Savannah Pharmacy. For more information, call 946-3336.
I've got some beautiful clothes. I know just where they go. Puritan Cleaners.
Meet the world with Puritan professional launderers and dry cleaners. Call 949-7104 for opening hours at Puritan's Countryside Savannah, Elgin Avenue besides Off the Peg, and 337 Eastern Avenue. Drive through, rain or shine. Ask about Puritan's ongoing discounts, plus free pickup and delivery. Call 949-7104. Puritan's 949-7104.
King Sports Center takes pride in being more than just an ordinary gymnasium. For 14 years, their multi-purpose facility has been providing the community with a variety of sporting, recreational, and relaxation activities. King Sports Center has a bowling alley, lounge bar, multi-purpose rooms, powerhouse gym, rock climbing wall, bungee jumping, a 10,000 square foot rink, and so much more. For more information on the variety of services, call their friendly staff today at 946-5464 or email kings@candw.ky or visit www.kingsportscenter.com. King Sports Center, your one-stop shop for fitness, recreation, and relaxation.
Work will soon launch Jobs Cayman, an online system that allows registered users to access job postings created by registered employers. This system offers a better approach to facilitate Caymanians in finding employment and allows employers to search for qualified and skilled Caymanians who are seeking employment. For more information on the registration process and what you need to register, visit www.worc.ky. Work, leading the pursuit of full Caymanian employment and economic prosperity for all through service excellence.
Listen to the general public.
Your thoughts are just a telephone call away. 1-800-534-8255.
What the public is saying.
Let your voice be heard. And now,
Radio Cayman's Talk Today.
And welcome back to Talk Today. In case you're just tuning in for today's show, I'm Raymond Singh, filling in for Sterling Dwayne Ebanks. And we have producers and cast members from the upcoming play Into the Woods, put on by the Cayman Drama Society, here in studio. And we've been discussing a bit about the history of the play Into the Woods and some comical moments here, hearing about the some of the work that's gone into putting it all together. One of the things I wouldn't mind re-highlighting again is this is a musical.
Yes.
And you brought up the song, one of the most complicated songs of the performance, which has multiple singers sing at different parts, and the timing that goes into this.
Yeah.
It's a challenging effort. How many singers altogether do we have?
That one has 5 singers on stage performing it. And there's 4 main ones that perform it, because the witch she has pretty much a one-liner that she throws out in it, which is very much in her character. And then the other ones are arguing amongst themselves until they finally settle on who they're finally going to blame. But it's the whole part of that song is you're watching a whole group of people in a mob mentality trying to slough off the blame to someone else and say it's not my fault, it's your fault, it's your fault, it's your fault, which is very poignant life lesson, which is what people do all the time, especially everywhere you see, in the workplace, at school, anywhere.
As opposed
you watch
to solving
people,
the problem.
Yeah,
Placing the blame.
Yeah,
Place the blame, right?
You watch people just go, "Oh no, actually, I didn't. No, I didn't do that. That wasn't me." Or even at home, they're like, "No, I didn't put that dirty cup in the sink. That wasn't me. I have no idea what you're talking about." And that kind of thing. And this whole musical has tons of little life lessons and little bits of just
like social commentary and kind of relationship commentary. And,
your role.
Yeah.
There's a lot of
and what's so magnificent, I think, what really sort of finishes off Your Fault, it immediately transitions into this, which is, I don't want to say it's a lament, but this beautiful song, the transition into it, called Last Midnight. And the transition from Your Fault, which is really intense and putting the blame, and then transitioning into this really beautiful melody. I would have to say it's more of a beautiful melody that the witch comes out in with the Last Midnight. It just shows the brilliance of Sondheim.
Mm-hmm. And as far as the entirety of the cast that's involved, are we able to share who all the cast members are, or the primary cast members?
Yeah, so we've got 17 cast.
Okay.
And it's relatively small for a musical with 17 cast members. We have put on everything from Annie to Annie Get Your Gun and everything, where we've ended up with about 40 cast members for a musical. So this is a relatively small one. But as Terry said, this is a true ensemble piece. So in the other musicals, you'll have maybe 5 or 6 main characters that stand out, where this is a 17-piece group.
We've got quite a few cast members doubling up on roles as well. So both myself and Vanessa are doubling up on roles.
And what are your roles?
I'm doing the witch and Cinderella's mother. Vanessa's baker's wife and granny.
So you went the two evil characters.
Cinderella's mother is not.
Sorry,
Yeah,
Cinderella's mother is the
not
the
the stepmother.
and
Yeah.
that's
yeah,
Gotcha,
like
gotcha.
the fairy godmother.
You got,
Sort of a
sorry.
little bit,
Yeah.
So you went polar opposites here.
Yeah,
Okay.
completely.
Completely polar.
But even the witch herself
is complicated.
The witch's character
not
itself,
pure evil by
because
any
she's
means.
not just a witch.
Yeah.
But I don't want to give any away.
We can't give too much more away.
But we have quite a few incredible actors on stage, and we've got a bunch of old faces to CDS stage that have been there and you'll recognize when you come, like Neil Hamady and Dominic Wheaton, and then you've got people that are brand new to the CDS stage and that haven't been there before, and when they showed up and they did their audition, we kind of looked at them in awe and we were just like, where have you come from? And we've got people like Jose, who's playing the Rapunzel's prince, Nicholas, who's playing the baker, and just quite a few new people. And then we've got a great group of teenagers that have also joined us in the cast. So like Jarde, who's playing Little Red. We've got Melody Allinger, who's very well known, playing Cinderella.
India Dawson James.
Yeah,
is
India.
Rapunzel.
And so a couple of these have done shows, and Melody, it's actually really lovely to see how Melody has grown, because she's been in a lot of the CDS productions from the time she was a much smaller child. I could also say the same with Terry, because she entered CDS stage when she was 1 month old.
You're lifelong.
But with Melody, we've seen her. She was in all of these other shows, and now she's, a young teenager. I think she's 15, 16 now. 16, and it's great to see how she's actually developed musically and her acting and all of that. So it's really lovely to watch.
It's nice. There's also families involved, which is cool. So you've got obviously like the Quapes and Bergstrom. Thanks, but you know what I mean. Like, so you've got families, and you've got Melody and her mom's playing the violin. Kate's in the band,
yeah.
And then you've got the Okos. So Jack's mom is played by Darlene. Milky White is played by her daughter Emma, and then Liam is the steward. And Milky White's really clever. I think we have to talk about Milky White. Can you talk about Milky? It's really clever. Milky White is the cow, Jack's cow, that he has to go to market to sell.
Yes, so we've got the cow, and we've got a very fun costume for her. So we my brain goes to very strange places sometimes, which is a fun thing as a creative person. But so I was trying to figure out what costume to do, and I was looking at different bits of like cow costumes online, which takes you to a very strange place of the internet, by the way. Not going to lie. And so I was trying to find a way to incorporate her, and then I realized we're in a fairy tale land, and she could be anywhere. She could have been dropped from anywhere. So I've brought Milky White in from the 1940s, and she's actually from the 1940s. I've literally plucked her as a 1940s like silent film star, and putting her on stage, but she's still part cow, so she's like half
part cow.
Yeah, so she's like half 1940s film actress, half cow. It's a very cool amalgamation because
look at his eyes.
I know.
Well, it's just this great story. I'm kind of like enthralled in the story right now.
Our costume designer Violetta, luckily she took my chicken scratch of a drawing that I did, and she created it beautifully. And then I found a thing online to make hooves.
I'm sorry, you found a thing online to make hooves?
Yeah, Pinterest.
A method. Okay.
Yeah. A method.
Yeah.
I think where
we've
been extremely lucky with the support people that have come. And Terry's mentioned Violetta. Violetta is an extremely talented costume designer. So she came on board. She was involved in CDS. Probably the last show she did was about 9 years ago. And so the Quapes managed to convince her to come and assist with this, and she's assisted by Charity Putman, and they're just the costumes are amazing. With our set, we were able to convince Tansy Mackey, even though she was in the middle of finishing Starbucks Wall and she was trying to do our set, but she designed the set and she's had her friends come in to paint it, and the foyer as well. So people are going to actually visually be blown away.
From the moment you walk into the Playhouse.
From the moment you walk in the Playhouse, as I say, you're going into the woods, and the minute the curtain opens, and Act 2 is completely different than Act 1. So I just think people are going to be absolutely amazed. So between them, our stage managers are great, our backstage crew, because obviously no show is complete. And, as we say over and over, there's no small parts, whether you're pushing a stone onto the stage or whether you're singing the main part. It takes the entire team to come together to make it work, because if that stone's not there when the actor goes to sit down, it just falls apart. So we're very proud of all of the people that have come forward and all the hard work that they've done. We've got some great guys on sound. And that's another thing that, we should mention is...
we also have our awesome guy, Duncan.
And then the lighting, our lighting, but with the sound,
all of it's complex,
it's extremely complex. So we've got, and then there's a couple guys that are helping with the follow spots upstairs, but the soundboard and setting the lights, they've spent like 3 nights till after midnight setting the lights, and so they got all the cans and making sure that the colored gels are in the right places and they're turning on and going off at the right times. But besides that, with Chuck and then our technician from CDS itself, with the help of some others, have actually created a live sound stage. So we don't have the wireless mics that would have been seen in previous musicals. And it's absolutely brilliant because the stage is mic'd, but you wouldn't know it.
Okay, fair enough.
It's just you can hear it. You can hear the voices, not the sound.
It gives us as
but
performers the opportunity to...
We have more freedom of movement.
Yeah,
we have a lot more freedom of movement. We're not worried about a mic pack moving around.
Honestly, it can be very
sweating,
distracting.
Or it falling. But most importantly, they can really use their instrument. Mm-hmm. They can use the dynamics. They can get soft. They can get very loud. They can, they can use their voice where you really can't do when you have a mic. Your level is your level.
Correct.
And even if you do it, it doesn't come through because the mic is picking up your voice. So that in and alone, I think, is going to be magical. We're the little orchestra. We've got a mini orchestra. And where they're located, and Chuck is the conductor, and so he kind of sits by the audience as the conductor with his piano, and where the orchestra is just really cool.
Yeah,
that's great. We do have to take a quick commercial break. When we come back, we'll talk about more of the logistics of the upcoming play, dates, times, and all the
booking tickets.
Be back with more talk today right after this.
There are plenty of reasons to be a Logic customer. There's lightning-fast internet connectivity. There's the great overall customer experience. And now, you can improve your Wi-Fi connectivity with Logic Boost Wi-Fi for free. With Boost, you can extend your freedom to stream, game, and download seamlessly anywhere in your home, like your patio or your underground lair if you have one. Sign up now for any Logic Bundle package and get free Boost Wi-Fi for a limited time. Visit logic.ky for details.
Hey, are those new glasses on Will?
Yeah, we went to Optical Outlook. Wham, bam, easy exam. Finally, an exam he could pass. And we had the glasses the next day. Easiest part of our back-to-school shopping for sure.
Book your child's eye exam today at Optical Outlook. Call 746-2020. Get half off a complete pair of glasses with any student's eye exam, now extended to September 14th. Come see the difference with Optical Outlook, located in Caymanian Village.
Terms and conditions apply.
Support our port, support our tourism.
I support building the piers because the cruise industry puts millions of dollars into our economy each year. Without that revenue, young people like me risk facing an uncertain future. Learn more and spread the word.
Looking forward, looking bright. Support our port, support our tourism.
Listen to the general public.
Your thoughts are just a telephone call away. 1-800-534-8255.
What the public is saying.
Let your voice be heard. And now,
Radio Cayman's Talk Today.
And welcome back to Talk Today. In case you're just tuning in for our show, I'm Raymond Singh, filling in for Sterling Dwayne Ebanks. And we have in studio members of the cast and production team for Into the Woods, the new play by the Cayman Drama Society. Ladies, walk us through, for those who are just tuning in, just a brief synopsis of what Into the Woods is in the play itself. Just a brief synopsis for those who may have just turned in for our show.
Into the Woods is a musical by Stephen Sondheim and James Lapine, and it is about getting your wish and what happens afterwards. So pretty much an entire musical about be careful what you wish for. And it's all of the Grimm fairy tales interwoven together. So you will see Cinderella, Jack and the Beanstalk, Little Red Riding Hood, and Rapunzel, and you'll see all of these interwoven together using music and lots of magic, stage magic, and different things like that. So it's very fun and really incredible what we've been able to accomplish.
Oh, that's great. Now, even though we are talking about the fairy tales that we all grew up with, age appropriateness for this play would be what?
We would say, so we have put a voluntary PG rating on it. We really wouldn't recommend anyone under 10 to come, even 12, because there's no bad swear words or anything like that. It's innuendos. It's very long. When I say very long, it'll run for 3 hours with a 20-minute intermission.
Okay.
So 3 hours with a 20-minute intermission. And it's complex, and you just wouldn't understand it, and it really is meant for adults.
And it's more true to the Grimm's fairy tales, not the
it's
Disney fairy tales that we
it's not the Disney sanitized fairy tale at all. So if you're thinking, oh, cool, Cinderella in the blue dress, with the pumpkin, it's not at all. This is the Grimm fairy tales where they like to cut off the feet of the stepsisters and peck out their eyes.
It could be a little dark then.
Yeah,
a little dark.
It is dark.
Yeah, as you said, what you said is what happens after
the happily ever after.
After the happily ever after.
Yeah.
All right. And showing dates for?
So we open in 1 week tomorrow.
Yeah.
Tomorrow. Yeah, 1 week tomorrow.
Are you ready?
And they're ready.
Sure.
They're ready.
Sure.
They've got about
Better be.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rehearsals left. But no, they're ready. I've gone in on occasion as producer. I don't really tend to hang around very often.
Are you the micromanager?
I'm sorry?
Are you the micromanager producer that keeps
I'm the
everyone in line?
micromanager producer in the background.
Gotcha,
I
okay.
try not to come, but what I've seen, they're ready.
Good.
It's opening night is next Thursday. There's still some tickets left. It's the 12th, 13th, 14th of September, and then we jump to the 20th and the 22nd of September. The 19th, 20th, and 22nd. Normally our shows run Thursday, Friday, Saturdays, but we're not having a show on the 21st. It will be a Sunday matinee. And then the final weekend is the 3rd, 4th, and 5th of October.
Okay.
So there's 12 shows in total. The adults are $30. Students are $20. And students, if you're over 17, will need to see an ID. But primarily, we encourage everybody to buy your tickets ahead of time. We really don't offer the tickets at the door. And if you're coming at the door and expecting to find a ticket, I'm going to probably tell you it's sold out.
It might be sold out.
We do, the CDS, it is typical that our musicals do sell out. We're not sold out yet. But usually after the first weekend, it's very difficult to get a ticket. So we do urge people to go online. It's www.cds.ky. We also visit our Facebook page. We've got some fun photos there. And there is a booking link right there on our Facebook page. And follow us on Instagram at Cayman Drama and Twitter. So we're Cayman Drama, or it's at Cayman Drama on Twitter. So, we try to get everywhere, and we're really appreciative that Radio Cayman has come on and is going to start running our ads and having us. This is our second time on Radio Cayman, so we're very grateful.
Yes, thank you so much.
Anything else you want to add about the actual play itself that listeners may want to know before coming down?
Just, bring your imagination and your open minds, because it's a very fun show. We've got a lot of different magical things happening on stage and with our actors. And we've got a lot of just wonderful young new actors that have joined us. So,
and for those people who haven't been to the Prospect Playhouse, we've got a great bar. It's called the Curtain Call Bar. It's the best prices on island, and we open the bar at 6:30. The show starts at 7:30 sharp. So if anybody arrives at 7:30, we're probably not going to be able to let them in until there is a good time for them to get in, because we have to start the show on time.
Of course, yeah.
And we can't interrupt whatever's going on stage at that time.
And it finishes at 10, so it is a long show.
Yes, it is a long show, but we have a special cocktail that night, so it'll be some magical cocktail that fits with the theme of the show. And so the doors open at 6:30 on all of the evenings except the Sunday performance. And the Sunday performance, the doors will open at 3.
Okay, and that's the matinee showing on the Sunday.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. So 12 shows altogether. Tickets available at cds.ky. $30 for adults, $20 for students, that including college students?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I think it's bring an ID.
More than college students. I mean, if you're 60 years old and still in school and got a student ID, you still get the student price.
Yeah. That's great. Question, Terry, you brought up the new young talent that are now out there.
Yeah.
Was it difficult for them to adjust to this play? And because this play sounds like it is a very difficult play overall, between the musical element and a little bit more abstract. Did they struggle at all? Or was it a relatively easy learning curve for them coming into this?
I think some of them that we've got, they've been in a couple shows before at CDS.
Okay.
And some of them are absolutely brand new to CDS and to the stage itself. But we've got because we've been in rehearsals since February, we've been doing all of this. Okay. We've got myself and my mom co-directing, Barry.
Okay. Yeah.
We're lucky enough that there's 2 of us, and we're able to kind of take that on, and you'll find that different actors have different needs, and every actor needs to be directed differently. So whereas some actors need repetitiveness and a little bit more like, okay, just drill. Other actors need to just go away and learn it by themselves alone.
Fair enough.
And other actors need, more coddling and more like nice, hand holding. And some actors need, just the yelling drill sergeant kind of way. But you find your way with each actor and how they need to be directed. You can't direct the same every actor the same way. You have to find each way. So with the newer ones, they hadn't been directed yet, so we worked with them. We did a little workshops on some of the Sundays, and we were showing them, okay, this is stage right, stage left. These are the right stage movements. This is how it is, and showing them as well, what cheating out means, showing your face to the audience and all of that kind of stuff. So we were doing little bits of just an intro to theater and that kind of thing as well.
Great.
And if you're not used to it, it is easy to get caught up in a moment and just start talking to and then it's like, no, you've got to, the audience has to be able to hear you, Of course, and so, I think there are just all of those little moments that sometimes we kind of forget about. But it's such a clever show, and I think we're really fortunate that we had as much time that we had, because then we were able to, once we got into the playhouse, have little kind of working on our characters and going through the lines and really understanding what they mean, and that really helped develop our characters and how we were. It's funny, you just a few little conversations and all of a sudden, whatever that song is, or it just goes to the next level.
That's great. 2 quick questions before we get to our 1 p.m. headline news. For those individuals that might be looking to get involved with the Cayman Drama Society,
again, they can just go to our website, and they can always send me an email at chairman@cds.ky.
Okay.
We do have a training program as well, and the training program, if they go to our website again, everything is all listed there. We do classes, age classes, 5 to 8-year-olds, 8 to 12-year-olds, 12 to 15-year-olds, and we do adult classes. So we do adult, mixed ability, and we do beginners. And then we will also throw in, like coming up very shortly, and again, the information is on the website. We're going into auditions for our not next show, but the show after. It's called Illusion, and we're doing audition workshops for Illusion. So they're free. Our training isn't free, but these workshops that we do we did a director's workshop, that's free. So we do a lot of training. At CDS, our mission is to educate, enrich, and entertain. And so part of our mandate to educate is doing that. And we've got a very talented young lady who runs our theater program. And we work with all the schools. We're hoping we'll have something really big and exciting coming next year to assist all the schools in Cayman with. So we're really excited, and
also just if you're not a be on stage person, you can work at the bar, you can work backstage.
Yeah.
We've
got lots of volunteer opportunities, and also we do workshops on the technical side, on the soundboard and lighting, and we really need a lot more people. We'd love to see a lot more young Caymanians get involved in the lighting board and the sound. We've got 2 young gentlemen who are working our soundboard this time, which is, it's great. It's great to see them getting involved and doing something positive.
That's really great. We are out of time for this segment, though, but thank you so much. All the best with the upcoming play. And just again, for our listeners, opening date is September 12th. Its show is running to October 5th. There's 12 showings altogether. Adult tickets are $30. Students are $20. And this is Into the Woods, brought to you by the Cayman Drama Society. Ladies, thank you so much, and all the best for the show next week.
Thank you for having us.
All right, we'll be back with more talk today right after this commercial break.
Twitter. All the latest information, breaking news, community events, and more. Follow us at twitter.com/Radio Cayman.
Radio Cayman.
Radio Cayman's newsroom. These are the biggest stories right now.
The Elections Office renews its efforts to complete the verification process as it makes a final push to verify the remaining 145 signatures. Door-to-door verifiers are making a strong push to contact individuals who weren't reached during early stages of verification by revisiting homes. Individuals who signed the petition and have not yet verified their signature are encouraged to email office@elections.ky or call the Elections Office at 949-8047. In news elsewhere, rescuers have begun to reach areas of the northern Bahamas devastated by Hurricane Dorian, with aerial images showing a trail of destruction. Prime Minister Hubert Minnis said some areas had been decimated and expected the current death toll of 7 would rise. The hurricane winds that hit the Abaco Islands equaled the highest ever recorded at landfall, and Grand Bahama also suffered severe damage and floods. Dorian has moved off north but still threatens the eastern U.S. seaboard. An attempt by British lawmakers to stop the country leaving the European Union in October without a divorce deal has passed its first major hurdle in Parliament. The House of Commons voted 329 to 300 to approve the bill in principle, sending it on for further debate and another vote later Wednesday. If the legislation is approved by the House of Commons, it will go to Parliament's upper chamber, the House of Lords. Pro-Brexit peers are threatening to try to stop it by filibustering. Talking so much time runs out. Prime Minister Boris Johnson says Britain must leave the EU on October 31st with or without a deal, and plans to seek a snap election if the opposition bill becomes law. Those are your latest updates here on Radio Cayman. I'm Shanda Gallego.
Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands.
What's happening in your community? News and information, music and more. You can find us. www.radiocayman.gov.ky. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. Radio Cayman is your choice, your voice for today's biggest news. Radio Cayman.
Listen to the general public.
Your thoughts are just a telephone call away. 1-800-534-8255.
What the public is saying.
Let your voice be heard. And now,
Radio Cayman's Talk Today.
And welcome back to Talk Today. In case you're just tuning in for our show, I'm Raymond Singh, filling in for Sterling Dwayne Ebanks. We just had in studio members of the Cayman Drama Society talking about their upcoming musical Into the Woods. We do encourage all of our listeners to help support the Cayman Drama Society. But now in studio, we're pleased to have Miss Christine and Mr. Dale from the the Scranton Community Committee. It was a bit of a tongue when I first wrote it out, the Scranton Community Committee, that community committee part. But welcome to the show. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Thank you for having us. Mm-hmm.
Thank you. So talk to us, what's been the latest developments with the park?
Well,
and please, if you don't mind, scoot a little closer to your mics.
Well, that's what we come here to talk about today.
All righty.
The progress we have made since we last cleaned up in February, as you said earlier. Yeah, so since that last cleanup, we've been going through the technical differences in terms of trying to get all the bureaucratic process in terms of getting the government to sign the lease and everything. Okay. So all that has been done right now. We're in the stage where now we are getting the property well surveyed, and then Mr. Colin Lampson from the Ministry of His land, right?
Mm-hmm. Ministry of Planning.
He's assisting us in that regards, and he has. It's we can continue to make some move until he get that other part straightened out. So here we are now. We come to the stage now where we're going to do a major cleanup this weekend. Because since February has grown up a bit more back. Of
course,
all the bushes is back there. So we're in the process now of trying to clean up this Saturday. And that's why we here now on Radio Cayman trying to plead to the public and the community in the whole to try to come out and assist in that cleanup. You see?
Great, yes,
so
absolutely.
It's very important. But we are making progress, and we come a long way so far. But here we are trying to plead to the public to try to get them involved, because it's not just a Scranton community project. It's for Central Georgetown and the island on the whole, because the plan we have plans that when it's complete, hopefully as quickly as possible, that it can be utilized by everybody.
Of course. Well, at the end of the day, it's a community park.
You're right. It is.
Yes.
Right.
If you don't mind, walk us through for those of our listeners that, because it has been a few months and roughly about 7 or 8 months, actually more than that, 10 months since I believe government purchased land back late last year.
The last
and
set
then
of land.
Correct. Yes.
The last set of land, yes.
Yes.
So walk us back to...
So I believe it was late last year that there was
Mhm.
the government purchased land, and then there was the cleanup that was held in February
Yes.
to kind of spruce up the park and get it.
Mhm.
And then the peppercorn lease
Mhm.
that was
which
signed
is
up,
approved.
which
And
was approved.
we'd like to say thanks to our government and all of those that were involved. As Dale said, the park is not just for Central Scranton, but for the entire Georgetown and whoever wants to come. And it's in line with the revitalization of Georgetown.
Correct.
Sorry, I forgot to say that I'm Christine Burke
No,
Richardson.
please, thank you.
And I am the treasurer of Central Scranton Community. We're now an NPO.
Oh, great.
We're an NPO.
So that's a nonprofit organization.
Of course, we have we'll be audited, and and we're in line with the requirements. And we're here today to we're going to clean up the park, and we're asking people to come out and help. Those of you who can't help, you can donate whatever. You can come and just keep company, and that shows that you're interested. And also for donations from the private sector, because we're voluntary. All of us are volunteering. And one of the questions you may ask me is why. And myself and Dale is retired.
That was my next question.
Yes.
So yes.
We were fortunate. We're two fortunate Georgetowners from the same area, born in the 50s, and we're fortunate to be retired. And our goal is to give back. We've been giving back to the community for years, and I hope that we set an example for the younger ones and other Caymanians or whoever live here to give back. If you love this country, you will give back free time to the various organizations so that we can be a developed country, and not everything is on government.
Government can only do so much, but the community needs to also help.
Ms. Greens, you're absolutely right. Just last week on the show, we were talking about the forgotten pillar, and that's you have your government pillar, you have your private sector pillar, but then you have your volunteer pillar, and that's such an amazing, important part of the pillar. 'Cause that's your parents, that's your community leaders, that's your church leaders.
That's right.
And without that, that's the glue that holds everything together.
Not only the church and the community and the leaders, but the expats who come here and say this is their home. And I'd like to say thanks to all of those who get involved, because it is important. And that is why we are at the standard of which we are in compared to the other islands, because thanks to them, they continue to give back. And we as Caymanians need to follow that trend. We used to. Our culture was always giving back. From I was a young girl, Dale can confirm that. We just need to let the young ones know that this country was not built like this. It wasn't like this in our time. It was built. And it was built because of the seamen, the woman who was home, the children who was there, giving back to make this country to what it is today.
You led to a very important question then. So when we're talking to the younger generation, let's say just for perspective, under 30s, that 30 to 20-year-old gap, the young adults, so to speak, what do we say to young 20 to 30-year-old Caymanians about getting involved in that spirit of community and giving back and volunteerism? What are the words from your generation that you could pass along to them on why it's so important to do so?
If you love your country, and the Cayman Islands, it's automatic that you should be giving back. And the young one and the under 30s are fortunate because most of them went to university, which is a plus.
Huge plus.
Huge plus. Huge. And sometimes they went free too, because in our time, you had to pay back the government. Now it's government giving you free, and along with the other companies, and give back to you. That'll be one of the biggest reward for you. Community work, giving back.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Dale?
Mr. Dale?
Yeah, I support what you said in regards to that. But, we as leaders or people or individuals who involved with these community services and so forth need to be more encouraging, more involved with the youngsters also. Here, there, whatever views are, and encourage them to get more involved with these sort of activities, because I think in recent a decade or two back, we seem to have slipped away. Parents not really focusing on their children as much as they should have done, and let the children slip away based, watching the TVs and the overseas activities and so forth that take place on TV. So, but we, as Christine said earlier, the generation from in the 50s and the 60s, they're the ones who have been setting examples from an early stage. And somehow we missed that gap, and following that gap, and that's where I think some of our failures have taken place. But nevertheless, it's not that late. We got to get out there also and campaign to the youngsters. I know as a youngster growing up, I used to hang out with the older generation, the older men especially, hang out with them, and they didn't used to run me. I mean, I get involved with their activities, not the illegal part of it, but and I did observe some of that also. Yes. But the point is that listen to their stories, which children are nowadays not listening to our stories. They do feel that our stories are important to them anymore. So we got to encourage them to listen to what our experiences, what we have went through, and learn from that. And again, it's a two-way thing. We got to listen to them also.
Well,
what they love to do, what they want to do, where can they fit in. But if we as adults on our age bracket continue to push them away, then they're going to find things to do on their own accord. You see? So,
words of wisdom right there. We had the Miss Teen contestants on the show, and one of the contestants, that was her. When we asked the question of if they could offer anything to correct or to self-correct or to improve society, what is the one thing they would pick? And it was to have the older generation listening and hearing what they have to say. And so you're right. There's that disconnect where we tend to look at the younger generation as not being involved. And on the flip side of that coin, asking the younger generation, they're feeling as though they're not being heard. And there is a disconnect there that we have to try to find a way to bridge, because if we don't find that bridge somehow, we're not going to see success of a venture like the park. But it extends beyond that. We're going to see it in our schools. We're going to see it in the workforce. We're going to see it in everywhere. Sorry.
And that's the question I ask myself as I've been involved with this community for such long period of time as I have been. What am I doing this for? Sometimes I hit, do I love these people more than I love myself? The way I contribute to this community and society in a whole. And why are you doing this? You either be an idiot, or you love something, or you love what you're doing. So when I analyze and look back, the thing, as I tell Christine something back, it got to be a love for the things that I do to help people and to see people happy and enjoying what others can do for them. So those are some of my ways of, telling children, look, love. If you get involved with something, but you got to enjoy what you do to really make success there.
Well, with me in being developed, I have to really give thanks also to my sister Lucille Seymour, who couldn't be here today because I was involved in netball. I was playing netball from the age of 7. I played netball up until I think I was in my 40s. When it started to get rough, then I kind of stopped playing. But as for being in the management part of netball, I've been in there for years, so I got good experience. And I always gave back. Netball we had to fundraise for everything, so there I was always the forefront because she always put me in. I was the one that used to go and beg the donations, like from the Cook Cornells and from the Whites and all of those. So I was always forward in this, and my mother was always, she was a real person who helped her community, and I'm the youngest one, and I saw what she did, and I'm continuing in that walk of life, helping not only the community, but I also talk to a lot of young people because in my store I talk to them. They come in and we talk and we rap. And but the distance, what I want to encourage us as at our age is to talk to young people. They do not make it be a gap. Know who they are. They mightn't look like us in those days. You could see who we were for, but that doesn't stop us from engaging, encouraging them. And they will eventually listen. They will listen. Another thing in conversing with young people, they need to realize that Cayman, they're born and see the best. And they need to know our history and to know where we're coming from. And then they will appreciate sometimes how we speak to them in terms of encouraging them to continue with Cayman. Because life is good now, real good for all of us. And any person who complains, it's not good.
Nope, you're absolutely right. We do have to take a quick commercial break. When we come back, we've opened up this conversation. I like the direction it's going. We'll come back with more talk today, right after this commercial break.
Tossing and turning, can't sleep? It's time to turn in your old mattress and go to bed with a new one. Take advantage of the Sealy Temper Labor Day savings at Brand Source Home Gallery. Browse the huge mattress showroom and pick the perfect Sealy Temper today at up to 40% off. Brand Source Home Gallery has tons of new inventory to choose from. You can also save $400 on select adjustable mattress sets with mattresses in every size to suit every budget. Now's the time to save up to 40% and sleep better tonight with a new mattress from Brand Source Home Gallery. Dorsey Drive in Industrial Park. Call 623-5000. Sale ends September 7th.
From happy beginnings to happy ever after.
Brit K protects your lifestyle with the best insurance cover at the best possible price.
Health insurance with far-reaching benefits.
95% of claims settled in 5 days.
Low-cost life insurance.
And investments.
Security in retirement.
With a custodian pension plan.
For happy beginnings and a happy ever after.
Visit BritK.ky or call 949-8699.
BritK, where people come first.
Radio K-Man's Super Jam Show, the #1 drive time entertainment show on your radio, featuring Will Sinatra. Enjoy a mix of pop, hip-hop, dancehall, and soca, and an entertainment trivia section.
Another proud sponsor of the Super Jam Show.
Merengue Town.
Time to feel the rhythm. Time to feel the vibes. It's time for Merengue Town.
Have you signed the Cruise Port referendum petition and still need to verify your signature through the Elections Office verification process? With its extended hours, you can do so today by visiting their headquarters Monday through Thursday from 8:30 a.m. to 6:30 p.m. and on Fridays from 8:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. and on Saturdays from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. For more information, please visit elections.ky.
Hurricane Ivan was a storm that changed the Cayman Islands. On Wednesday, the 11th of September, you're invited to join the Water Authority as it marks the 15th anniversary of Ivan. View the Authority's special exhibit highlighting the impact of the storm and the strides the Authority has made to become stronger and more resilient. Get important preparedness information to help keep you vigilant this hurricane season, all while enjoying lunch. Join the Water Authority in remembering Hurricane Ivan. It all happens on Wednesday, the 11th of September, from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m.
Your thoughts are just a telephone call away. 1-800-534-8255.
What the public is saying.
Let your voice be heard. And now,
Radio K-Man's Talk Today.
And welcome back to Talk Today. In case you're just tuning in for our show, I'm Raymond Singh, filling in for Sterling Dwayne Ebanks. We do hope he's enjoying his well-deserved vacation. We do have in studio members of the Scranton Community Committee. My apologies again for that tongue twister. Miss Christine and Mr. Dale. And again, we do invite you to join our conversation. If you have any comments or questions, simply give us a call at 1-800-534-8255 or 949-8037. Right, so put the spotlight back on the developments for the park in the near future. What are the plans that we have in place for the park, or the desired plans, long-term vision for the park?
Well, I just want to give a little brief history on where we, as Christians here, where we came from and where we are at this point and we're hoping to go.
Sure.
And, well, the community, Central Scranton Community, has been formed as an entity for about 20 plus years. We as a group, myself, and we had a few more men them days involved in the committee, but in recent times they just seem to drift away for some reason or other. I don't understand why. Right now it's just myself and as a man, Anthony as a male, and most all of my members are women.
Cheryl.
Pardon?
Cheryl and...
Well, yeah. The committee now consists of myself as the chairman, Dale, Lucille Seymour is the first vice chairman, and Anthony is the second vice chairman. We got Cheryl Miles is our general secretary, and Christine, who is our treasurer. We're looking for people to support this cast right now, because when you have a committee or an entity as large as this, all the way the work is entailed, you need a lot more people involved. Right now, PR is our weakness right now. We need people to come in, a person to come in and fill that gap, because the who have been elected has not been active as we would like that person to be, and that's very key position in our organization. So like I said earlier, we started this whole thing many years ago. We have been involved with many activities, cleanups of the community in the whole. And you should see where we were many years back to where we are now. I mean, it will have to take someone like me and Christine and others who have been in that experience to really explain it to you in full detail. So we have done well over the years, and where we are right now, we are the community itself has been cleaned up very well. we got some ills still in there that we need to address and we will take care of them eventually. But we have been doing cleanups in the community. We have helped people, assisting people in their home, building homes and repairing their houses and so forth. We have done so many different things. We are also involved with the Paris Week Committee, Paris Week, where we has a day, Georgetown Heritage Day, and we build floats and all that, which represent the Georgetown constituency in a whole, and people didn't recognize that. So, and we have been successful with the few that we have, but I'm getting about had enough of it right now. As a person, I'm getting to the age right now, it's time to move on. So somebody got to come and take the back of the ball and roll
that mantle off, right?
The mantle, right? That's just it, and move it on, because I've myself and others have put too much into this right now to let it fall through. We came from too far, and to let this fall back on us right now, because and where the park is consists, we used to Anthony and Rex Ebanks, who have been the initial individuals who kind of put the park together many years back, and they had a basketball court there erected by sponsors and so forth. And
how long ago was that?
Over 20 years.
Oh, wow, okay.
Or more. So when I came in and I formulated this committee, and we started doing many different things, as I said earlier. And those times government did not own these three pieces of properties that they're right now. Over the years, it's three pieces of property combined together right now. And the second piece that was purchased a couple of years back, and then in recent time, because from those days we've been trying to get the governments of the day, which previous government, not this one in particular, but other government before them, to purchase these properties so we could utilize them for our community activities.
Of course.
And many government officials have tried with the landowners to try to purchase or lease on our behalf. And that's where we are right now at these future pieces of properties which we now going to utilize for the purpose of development and to beautify as a park. You see? So it's not just today that we've been working at this.
Okay.
People need to recognize that. This is not just a yesterday's or today's thing. Right. This was a yesterday and a long yesterday's thing that we've been focusing for a very long time. So people need to wear that.
Well, it's great to actually put that history and that color there, because when we start talking about development, a lot of times we do forget.
That's right.
That there was a starting point.
Yeah. And I just want to say, we forgot Donna. Donna Wilson is on our Wilson, right?
She's our assistant secretary.
Assistant secretary.
Sure. Yeah.
But I just want to elaborate here. Central Scranton are in the midst of a wealthy estate, so it's our business to develop it. That is why over the years we encourage the government to purchase the land, because as you can see, a lot of land is being sold, and we need to keep land for parks. There's a park in the middle of the land, another park, a pond, and it's the runoff from various properties.
Okay.
Over and Hurricane Ivan, when all the water was in that area, government put down drain pipes. So they are there, so all the water run off. But we are going to beautify that pond. We're going to put boulders and all the other stuff that go with ponds, and create the environmental awareness. That is it. Now for the park, our plans is to have a multi-purpose community park to serve wholesome family, health, culture, and education activities. We have a lot of children around there, and we have had children grow up there, and like Lee and Anthony and those, and it's not where you live, it's what you do with your life and what you want in life. So Scranton, although sometimes we get bad, things happen there, happening in a community, but this group of people is going to make sure, as long as they'll talk about giving up. And sometimes we do, because you wonder why the other young ones don't come on board with us. We're going to save now for the future. And as you see on our flyer for the cleanup, that's what we're going to focus on, because somebody has to save for the future. Otherwise, it'll be sold or everything will be gone, and you won't even remember where the history was. And Central Scranton, Shedding Road, if you do a list of people that was born in Georgetown, you will realize that most of the prominent people came out of Central Scranton and Shedding Road. And we are going to develop a book. That is our aim, for history, for our children, for the people of the Cayman Islands to realize that Central Scranton community, Shedding Road, that whole area is one of the most important places in Georgetown. Lots of history. And we don't usually talk about black and white, but it's a black community. It's a black community. It's a powerful community. Myself and Dale was there. We made it. We were poor. We just didn't born it like this. No, we're not poor now, Dale. Let's don't say that. We're not poor. We're giving God thanks that we're still alive, because there's good days and bad days, but most of all, it's more good days than bad days. And
I like the humor, though.
And I want to say, because maybe you might say I talk too much, but
no, not at all.
Everybody blames the government. From I was growing up, it's not the government. Most of the governments in days from then till now, has done well in keeping and making this Cayman Islands what it is today. A lot of people here now should have been here when we were poor. Well, maybe a lot wouldn't have come here now, because it was nothing for them. The government of the day and the current government, and I guess the future government, they will always develop this country, because they have the foresight. They're honest men, and they're men of integrity. They're not, when you look around the Caribbean and see what happens to all the big countries, they had more money than us. They were richer than us, and we're still together. So thanks for the men of those from years ago, and thanks for all our members of Parliament now. Cayman is still the best. And Central Scranton, myself and Dale, Lucille, Donna, Cheryl, Anthony, and we want more to come on, like Magdalene and Alex, who all of those was born around the area. We want them to come and make this community stronger.
That's an excellent note for us to take a quick commercial break, because that was actually a very powerful statement, and we'll end that segment on this very high note. Be back with more talk today, right after this commercial break.
Hurricane Ivan was a storm that changed the Cayman Islands. On Wednesday, the 11th of September, you're invited to join the Water Authority as it marks the 15th anniversary of Ivan. View the Authority's special exhibit highlighting the impact of the storm and the strides the Authority has made to become stronger and more resilient. Get important preparedness information to help keep you vigilant this hurricane season, all while enjoying lunch. Join the Water Authority in remembering Hurricane Ivan. It all happens on Wednesday, the 11th of September, from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Water Authority office.
Hey, are those new glasses on Will?
Yeah, we went to Optical Outlook. Wham, bam, easy exam. Finally, an exam he could pass. And we had the glasses the next day. Easiest part of our back-to-school shopping for sure.
Book your child's eye exam today at Optical Outlook. Call 746-2020. Get half off a complete pair of glasses with any student's eye exam, now extended to September 14th. Come see the difference with Optical Outlook, located in Caymanian Village.
Terms and conditions apply.
Come on, get ready for this year's 2019 Fidelity Fun Run Series. Join us opposite John Gray High School for the first 3 Saturdays in September at 7:30 a.m. for an exciting 2-mile run. Whether you're a serious competitor looking for a fun family activity or you want to take an early stroll, the Fidelity Fun Run Series is the event for you. Strollers and pets are welcome, and we've got trophies up for grabs as well. Register today for the races on September 7th, 14th, and 21st. And get your Fun Run t-shirt. To register, visit CaymanActive.com for more information.
Support our port, support our tourism.
Did you know the cruise berthing facility will not cause flooding in Georgetown? In fact, wave walls will be built in addition to the piers, and marine engineers say that this could reduce the force of incoming waves. Learn more and spread the word.
Looking forward, looking bright. Support our port, support our tourism.
For the Health of It is heard on Wednesdays at 7 p.m. and on Saturdays at 9:30 a.m. It is brought to you by Holy Cross Hospital. Quality medical care and advanced technology with sincere compassion and understanding. Our mission is you. Call 1-954-351-5906 or visit Holy Cross Hospital at holy-cross.com.
Today, millions of people all across America are building a life in recovery from addiction and mental illness, helping themselves
and helping each other, with friends, family, and community lending their strength and support.
Join the Voices for Recovery.
Together, we are stronger.
Join the Voices for Recovery and attend one of our upcoming workshops to learn how you can support someone impacted by substance abuse. District workshops will be offered during the month of September in West Bay, Georgetown, and East End. For further information, contact the Department of Counseling Services at 949-8789.
Listen to the general public.
Your thoughts are just a telephone call away. 1-800-534-8255.
What the public is saying.
Let your voice be heard. And now,
Radio Cayman's Talk Today.
Welcome back to Talk Today. In case you're just tuning in, I'm Raymond Singh, filling in for Sterling Dwayne Ebanks. As always, we do welcome your feedback and always invite you to come join the conversation. Give us a call at 1-800-534-8255 or 949-8037. In case you're just tuning in again, we have in studio the Scranton Community Committee in studio, Miss Christine and Mr. Dale, two of the lead members of the a very important committee here in the community who's been involved with the development and consistent development and growth of the Central Scranton community. And here to talk about an upcoming cleanup, didn't mean to say beach, cleanup this coming weekend. Right. Tell us more about it.
Well, Christine made a point. I want to elaborate more on that point in terms of as she said earlier, there's a lot of prominent people come out of that community, of course, and it had impacted them very well over the years. And I would like for them to recognize that they came through that community too, and even though they're high in society at this stage in their life, they need to come back and give something to the community. Even a bit of advice, or come back and do a chat with the members on occasion, which we are hoping to do. And what we're hoping to do as a committee is to try to we want to do a story, a booklet or something like that, where we record all the people that come through that community, and to recognize them in due course. Because all this thing takes time. Maybe we are rushing to hit ourselves a bit right here and now, but these are things that we're hoping to do. And we're not going to left anybody out, but we want to get these youngsters more involved at this time, because, like I said, we want to pass the buck on to them, and we don't want to go and help build facilities that are not going to be utilized in the right way that they should be utilized.
Very important.
It's useless for us to talk about trying to build this park, and then the park is there, going to be sitting down, nobody's going to be utilize it.
Or worse, utilize for bad things.
Right, or do it for illegal things. So this is our views and our objective is to try to in the same time we're trying to develop this park and to beautify it and have all the things surrounding it, we also want to bring the people together. Like I said, it's useless to have the facilities if we don't have the people to utilize that. So my whole philosophy in life is to bridge people.
Right.
If I can help you as an individual in the way I can, that's my whole philosophy in life, is to see you happy, to see you enjoy life to the best, to the fullest. So that's where we're at. That's where I'm at.
Of course.
And that's why I try to lead by example in that sense.
Yes, it's commendable. And if I can make a quick point on that, because you made a great point when you started the segment, that is, ultimately, it's for people not to forget their roots, and for those who have come out of this area, who have done well for themselves, because help them actually coming back and actually sharing that knowledge, sharing that support, sharing whatever it might be.
Right.
You don't bridge that gap.
Right.
That's the gap that's lost, because that's the intellectual property that's kind of gone off, and you need it to come back.
And Ray, we don't live in the area anymore. We come down every day.
Yeah.
So, but it's our community.
It's still your community,
right?
Absolutely,
right. It's our community.
It will always be home for us.
Yeah, that's right.
Absolutely.
Always home for us. Yeah.
No, absolutely.
So we come to the point where we're doing this cleanup this weekend, and we're encouraging who are listening at this stage, who can come out and contribute in any little way they can. We'll appreciate that. Come out in small numbers, come in large numbers, and give whatever hand you can. Give other advice you can, and we'll appreciate all of that. You see, so at the end of the day, we know, like I said earlier, this is for everybody who's willing to come and utilize it to the best they can, and this is where we want to do the best we can as a committee to see that it is developed into that stage, right? So the weekend we're going to start from 7. At this stage, I think Public Works now they're going to start the process either tomorrow or Friday. We got to cut down some trees.
So
because
the Public Works will be coming out to clear some trees and the
heavy area,
the heavier stuff. Because right now, as from the last cleanup, which was in February, we have not had that. We identified trees that we need to cut down because if we're going to build a building, we're going to build the court back and so forth. We got to have all of those things, those places cleared. So, like I said earlier, Mr. Cullen Lunsum, who has been assisting us in that regard, has said, give us that go ahead. While he take care of certain other things like the survey and things like that, we can go ahead and progress and clean up certain things, take down certain trees that need to be taken down. We consulted with the agriculture department for them to give us advice as to what tree can be moved or what cannot be moved, and they advise us as which tree can be cut down. So those are identified already. What we're hoping to do with the park itself, we're going to put monuments, plaques that we will memorize. We can remember.
Of our people.
Yep. Commemorate
people who have contributed to that cause, to that community, and to the society on a whole, the Cayman Islands on a whole. So, and then we're going to put down a multi-purpose court, basketball court. We want to put restroom facilities in there.
Now, when you say multi-purpose court, you mean like the sport
basketball,
court kind of floor?
Yes, it will play the different games.
Multi-purpose,
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So multi-purpose, I didn't cut you off there. You have the pond as well, which you're beautifying.
Yes.
With everything else there.
Yes, that's
the pond will be in the center of the. It's in center of 2 properties at the time.
Okay.
Because that's why it would not make sense for us to. Government had just give us the present piece now. Right? It would make sense for us with the vision we have to obtain those 3 properties all together. So the pond is lied right in the middle of 2 of them right now. Okay. So that is why we get the permission to do that, and that's what we're going to do. We're going to work around the pond itself, beautify that, and so forth. And as she said earlier, we're going to try to check with those people who can get boulders, the soil and the material to go around that pond. Because as she said, it's a drainage for the community itself.
Of course, yes.
It's a runoff.
Yes, a runoff. So we got to keep all that in mind. Maybe government may want to use it for other purposes later on, but in the meantime, that's the focus on a pond, a multi-purpose facilities to accommodate people who want to sell goods and things, art crafts and things like that, and children do activities and so forth. All these sort of things we have in mind. All right.
So,
go ahead, Christine.
So our main thing here is we're going to save now for the future. And if love, you have to love where you live. And we're asking all friends, family, and volunteers to come out. In addition, we're sending a special invitation to the MLAs of Georgetown. All of you, we need you to come out and give your presence or a hand in what you can do. And we're also inviting the MLA for Georgetown Central, which is Mr. Kenneth Bryan, who's the MLA for that area. We're looking forward, and even for donations. Now we're going to start at 7:00 in the morning. And we're going to clean up the park. And we're going to, as Dale said, we will do a more intense work. Some of the guys are coming in on Thursday or Friday. Refreshments will be served. And at this time, we want to thank the people like Foster's and a few other persons who will be donating refreshments. So whatever you have to do this Saturday morning, please do not forget Central Scranton community. Because if we save now for the future.
Miss Christine, if we can, let's take a quick commercial break. When we come back, I have a few questions which I think some of the listeners may have about the cleanup to Saturday, including what activities they might be partaking in, ages, and because we do want to make this a family-friendly stand. At the end of the day, we want kids helping clean up their own park.
Yes.
Because they have to clean their own rooms, you want them having to make sure they clean their own parks. We'll be back with more talk today, right after this commercial break.
A caring and community spirit, cherished family and cultural values. These are some of the things that still embodies the Caymanian way of life in the Eastern Districts today. Savannah Pharmacy, your neighborhood pharmacy, located in Countryside Shopping Village, is delighted to offer products and services of real value. Whether it's catering to your family's medical needs or carrying apparel, gifts, and beauty products, Savannah Pharmacy provides you with more than just prescriptions. Remember, they're always just around the corner with everything your family needs and convenient opening hours, including Sundays and holidays. Savannah Pharmacy. For more information, call 946-3336.
At Seaboard Marine, customers often ask us questions about their shipments.
I have various items coming from different suppliers that I need to ship to Cayman. Do you offer consolidation?
Yes. Seaboard Marine offers consolidation for full and less than container loads. We can hold your packages at our Miami warehouse until everything arrives and ship it all in one go. And we have the best rates to Grand Cayman. Visit seaboardmarine.com for more information.
Shipping shore to shore, Seaboard.
Did you know that once properly sanitized, some tinned food items may still be safe for consumption after coming in contact with floodwater? In order to properly sanitize these tins, always remove labels, and then wash tins in a strong detergent solution using a brush to get rid of excess impurities. Tins must then be immersed in a solution made of 2 tablespoons of chlorine bleach per gallon of water for 10 minutes. Ensure that containers are air-dried before opening. For more post-hurricane food safety tips, visit the DEH website at deh.gov.ky.
Hi, my name is Neraya LeBlanc. I am the minister and evangelist to the West Bay Church of Christ on 24 Batabano Road. I would love to take this opportunity to invite you to experience God's family at West Bay for yourself. We are a caring congregation that strongly believes in reaching out beyond ourselves to spread the gospel of Christ. We also take great pleasure in ministering to the needs of our people in our community. As God's called out kingdom people, we are in the business of transforming lives for the Master's use. For more information, you can visit our website at westbaycichurchofchrist.org or call us at 946-9294 or 917-1809.
Declaring the word of the Lord.
Cayman Islands Church of Christ presents Word of the Lord.
Word of the Lord, heard Sundays at 6:30 p.m. on Radio Cayman.
Each weekday, Monday through Friday, Miracle Brokers is the proud sponsor of Radio Cayman's Bulletin Board. For all your moving needs, call the professionals of Miracle Brokers, 949-5989 or 916-0355. For a free estimate, they take the hassle out of moving. Miracle Brokers.
Now located at 140 Kingbird Drive in the North Sound.
Listen to the general public.
Your thoughts are just a telephone call away. 1-800-534-8255.
What the public is saying.
Let your voice be heard. And now,
Radio Cayman's Talk Today.
And welcome back to Talk Today. In case you're just tuning in for our show, I'm Raymond Singh filling in for Sterling Dwayne Ebanks, and we have in studio Miss Christina and Mr. Dale from the Scranton Community Committee here talking about the history and developments of the Scranton community, and we've heard a lot of talk about the park that is up and coming, and they have a cleanup this coming weekend, which we've been recently discussing, and the importance of rallying as a community behind initiatives such as this, and to everyone who both lives in Scranton or is from Scranton or who is Caymanian at all or expat, to come on out and help support with the cleanup initiative. So, Ms. Christine, if you could, or Mr. Dale, if you can refresh us on the dates, times, and what you're looking for from volunteers for this coming weekend.
Well, I mean, like I said, we start at 7 a.m. on Saturday morning, and we are asking anybody who was considering coming to bring either gloves, machete, or rakes, or whatever they can bring. Even though we have some, but depends on how many show up.
Yeah.
But if you can bring your own, you'll take back your own. So, but we do have some of those sort of things, machete and all those things provided for us. Hopefully, wheelbarrows, yes, and hopefully before that, Public Works will have the heavier part of the work for the day done. Some of the trees and things should be cut down, and then the Saturday morning, whoever shows up will have an easier task to take care of. Rake up and put trash in bags and so forth, and and then we want to thank DEH, for assisting with providing the big bin. Of
course,
hopefully that should be there on Friday. And we'll fill that up, and they have always been very helpful to us in regards to these sort of events, cleanup and so forth. So they will provide that for us on Friday, and maybe the grab truck at some instances. So that will be taking place. As Christine said earlier, refreshment will be served. We have fosters who have been behind us from day one, from assisting us in that regards, and people like Webster Tours and all of those other community business people around the place have assisted us in Christine and her company have assisted us in many ways before, and I'm quite sure they will continue. But we want to give those people recognition in due course. But the idea for this week is my philosophy in life is work now and be rewarded later. So I'm encouraging people to come out now and give that contribution, and hopefully we'll recognize your contribution, your efforts in due course. That's all I have.
And one might be saying, well, why build a park? Why waste money? Why use up all of the land? I just want to let you know that parks are crucial to the health and development in any city. And the benefit is benefit to the economy, and it will also be an important habitat for our birds and the other animals that be around parks, and the children, the older folks. We have a lot of older folks. There's not much places to go. When this park is developed, as you know, Central Scranton people, we're the best cooks in the island, and we're going to have an area where we're going to cook, and then they can sell their food. They'll continue to be business people by selling and selling. The government building is right there, and people can come buy their lunch, and with the shaded trees that we're going to replant back, they can come and sit down, and it's going to be developed properly by the government. And we're just going to ask you on Saturday, please keep Central Scranton in your mind. Come down if you want to give 1 hour, 2 hours, or just to chit-chat and see what we're doing. It'll help because it'll give us the encouragement to go on. We're going to be there 7 sharp. Don't forget, if anyone has more wheelbarrow, we only have. I don't think we'll have enough, so you can come down and we'll keep it for you, and you can pick it back up. But we're asking you for the big companies around, like One Capital Place. I hope you're listening. We'd appreciate any donations that you can give us too, because remember now we're an NPO and we're running in line with what government requirement is for NPOs. It's not no joke stuff. This is real business for our community. And in the end, One Capital Place, if you know that when the park is built, it'll benefit all of us. So I just want to say to all our people, either you be from East End, West Bay, Georgetown, come on down. MLAs, Ms. Barbara Conley, our Premier, Mr. Alan McLaughlin, Minister Hugh, Minister Mark Taggart, Kenneth Bryan. I hope I haven't left out anyone. We want to see your face. We want your encouragement. So come on down Saturday morning, and we'll appreciate. Thanks.
Ms. Christine, I said during the last commercial break that you're quite the rallier. You might have started a fight with the line about being the best cooks. I'm sure a few other districts might be calling in to.
That's fine. We're the best.
You're like, welcome, bring it on the fight.
We are the best cooks. We're good at turtle meat, the conch. We're good at crab. We're good at the chicken, with the fish, a good steamed fish or a good rundown. You check the Georgetowners. We know how to do it.
For anyone that may have a comment on that, by all means, please do give us a call. Susan Watson is standing by the phones waiting for you. That's how the fight started, right?
Yeah.
But, Ms. Christine, all jokes aside, I mean, at the end, you made a great point earlier about the necessity for parks. So it's not just a option. Parks are a huge necessity, especially in this day and age.
It is.
When we start talking about breaking kids away from their phones, when we start talking about constructive activities for kids' activities and family-friendly activities, wholesome activities, almost always the only option that's currently available is church options.
Yes.
Parks offer that other major element, and I'm really pleased that you're integrating both the beautification element to this, a culture element to it, and obviously the sporting and activity element, which is hugely important, and hopefully long term we see the programs, because building it is one thing, bringing the programs to it is a whole different scenario that requires a little more orchestration, and thankfully you do have a committee in place now that has some substance. It's now an MPO. It has history. And most certainly it definitely has a very committed group of individuals and volunteers who are very passionate about seeing their community continue to flourish and develop.
I think it's remiss of me if I don't mention the name of an individual who has been a driving force behind me in terms of these sort of cleanups and some of the community efforts. Although it's our job to do it in the same way, we got to remember Ms. Dorleen Welcome, who is the Georgetown Development Officer. She has been a driving force with myself and the community in the whole, and some of the other communities, and there was a lady some years back, I don't know where she is now, where the Department of Environment has had her a little bit, Miss Eke. She was one of those officers and she was very forceful in terms of some of the things, the ills in the community, the old cars and things like that that around our communities, that she was very helpful in trying to get all those things moved. But Dorleen Welcome has been a very driving force and very helpful in regards to some of these community activities, cleanups and so forth, and to seeing people welfare are being taken care of and so forth. We want to big her up a bit and remember her in these regards too.
Absolutely. Any closing points, Ms. Christine, before because we are getting pretty close to our time here. Ms. Christine, was there anything else you wanted to add on this coming weekend? I know we touched base on. So it is this coming Saturday at the 7th at 7 a.m. This is at the Central Scranton Community Park. If you have any questions or need more information after today's show, please do call Miss Cheryl at 916.
Or Christine Burke Richardson at 916-1780.
Say that number one more time.
916-1780.
1780. Or is Miss Cheryl at 916-5938. So either of those two numbers, if you had any more questions, they are asking that while there will be gloves and equipment there for the community to use, if you do have spare wheelbarrows or any other equipment that could help with the cleanup initiatives, please do bring it down. Refreshments are available this coming weekend. And again, we do encourage anybody in the community, whether you're from the area or not, to come on down. And at the end of the day, you have to support one another, and this is a great opportunity to support your fellow citizen.
Yes.
Well, just to finish up, I want to quickly say, that, there's so many people to thank at this time, and, we got to, like I said, some of those, we have mentioned some of those me before, but we cannot leave here today without thanking Radio Cayman for their contribution, their assistance in giving us this opportunity to highlight our opportunity or effort here. And so you have, OC and his show, you, Sterling, thanks to you, Rafe, being here today. And
thank you, sir.
Miss Susan, as usual. I was there, and as you say in the background, that beautiful voice of Miss Susan Watson. Thank you, Susan. It's always a pleasure. I listen to this program. This is my Radio Cayman. So
this is your station.
It's my station.
Like
so
Cayman Airways is our airline.
Absolutely.
Radio Cayman is our station.
If I fail to mention people names at this stage, it's not that I intend to do so, but, it's only him can remember.
It's a lot of people.
All the names to remember. So I want to thank all those people.
We also want to thank our cooks, Miss Emily Ramon, Miss Jean Ramon, Miss Lucille, Miss Cocolulu. We have Pauline and we have Lucille in the Scranton area. All of those all of those people who have been helping us over the years and continue to help us, we want to especially thank them today. And Radio Cayman, you've always done a good job.
Thank you so much. And a reminder as well for those that are looking to take place in the Breeze Fusion.
Yes, and we'll be there.
Run,
even if we in our wheelchairs, we mightn't be able to run, but Central Scranton community will show up.
Absolutely.
At that.
The funds this year will be donated to the Scranton community to help build the park.
Yes.
So again, this coming Saturday, September 7th at 7 a.m. If you have any questions about the cleanup, call Miss Cheryl at 916-5938 or Miss Christine at 916-1780. Thank you so much again, folks, for coming in. And we'll take a quick commercial break. When we come back, we'll be meeting with the folks from the HSA. Be back with more talk today right after this.
Radio Cayman, maintaining the innovation.
On a daily basis, making it easy to connect with you, our listeners. Add us to WhatsApp today, 925-3261. That's 925-3261.
Radio Cayman.
Send a text or voice note.
Can I send a request, please?
You don't really have to ask us. Just send a request.
This is a shout out to my ex.
Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands.
Radio Cayman, maintaining the innovation.
From district to district, moving through the waters to Cayman Brac and Little Cayman. Your station, your voice. All things Cayman. One radio, many people. This is home.
Radio Cayman in the Cayman Islands.
Radio Cayman.
Radio Cayman's newsroom. These are the biggest stories right now.
With your latest headlines, I'm April Cummings. The Customs Tariff Amendment Order 2019 comes into effect, which includes new concessions, encouraging drivers to be a little greener. Planning Minister the Honorable Joey Hugh tells Radio Cayman and CIG-TV it is a key element of his administration's move to support more renewable energies. In regional news, rescue crews in the Bahamas fanned out across a blasted landscape of smashed and flooded homes today, trying to reach drenched and stunned victims of Hurricane Dorian and to take full measure of the disaster. The official death toll at last check stood at 7, but there are concerns it will rise in the days to come. A day after the most powerful hurricane on record ever to hit the country finished mauling the islands of Abaco and Grand Bahama, emergency workers had yet to reach some of the stricken areas. In international news, migrant children who were separated from their parents at the U.S.-Mexico border last year suffered post-traumatic stress and other serious mental health problems. That's according to a U.S. government watchdog report issued today. The chaotic reunification process reportedly only added to their ordeal. The Associated Press obtained a copy of the report in advance of the official release, which said that the children who already had been distressed in their home countries or by their journey showed more fear, feelings of abandonment, and post-traumatic stress symptoms than children who had not been separated from their families. Those are your headlines from Radio Cayman's newsroom. I'm April Cummings.
Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands.
What's happening in your community? News and information, music and more. You can find us. www.radiocayman.gov.ky. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. Radio Cayman is your choice, your voice for today's biggest news. Radio Cayman.
Listen to the general public.
Your thoughts are just a telephone call away. 1-800-534-8255.
What the public is saying.
Let your voice be heard. And now,
Radio Cayman's Talk Today.
And welcome back to Talk Today. In case you're just tuning in for our show, we've had a full lineup today. We had in the studio earlier the members from the Cayman Drama Society here to talk about their upcoming play Into the Woods. And just now we heard from the Scranton Community Committee. And yet now we have another tongue twister of an interview with a hematologist-oncologist. I mean, this is a tongue twister day for segments, but I do want to welcome our guest, Dr. Lundy Richards and Miss Rosanna Humphreys-Johnson. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having us.
So, Dr. Richards, the spotlight's really on you here, and you being now a full-time hematologist-oncologist. Now, for all of our listeners who are not aware, what is that?
You're perfectly right. It's about being tongue
See,
twisted.
It's a tongue twister. It is.
Well, hematology, oncology, really looks at blood diseases.
Okay.
That's the hematology part. And oncology really refer to a series of various cancers that professional would look after. Hematology look at various blood diseases, including blood cancers, but you also have other conditions such as anemia, which the ordinary person would probably call low blood count, that the hematologist would look into to see what is the cause and probably what's the management.
And so, my own personal curiosity, how did you actually find yourself in this specific discipline of a field? It's very specific to go into this particular.
In the late 80s, my dad was dying from prostate cancer. And my dad had been my motivator, and he remains my best friend, although he's dead. And I wanted to, for want of a better word, revenge his death. And so I went into that particular field.
Okay.
That was what motivated me.
And that was the motivation.
Right. I was just finishing medical school when he died.
Okay. And where was medical school for you?
I studied in Cuba. I was in Santa Clara, Cuba.
Okay. Is that where home is originally?
No. Home is Jamaica.
Home is Jamaica, okay. But
originally.
What was the motivation to go to Cuba for schooling?
I had a scholarship.
Oh, well, that's great motivation. You don't get much better motivation than that.
I got a scholarship and I took on the opportunity.
Fair enough. I mean, some people say they want to go for the beaches. Some people say they want to go to schools for any number of activities, and scholarship is a very good,
absolutely
good reason for it.
Great
It
motivator.
is. But you're not a stranger to Cayman. You've been to Cayman before.
Yes. And in fact, Cayman was the very first country that I visited outside Jamaica.
For work? Oh, I mean, in
first
general.
time in general.
What year was that?
That was sometimes around about 83, 84, right. I think. And what I remember distinctly about the first time I came, used to have these Sunday morning fun runs.
Okay.
And one Lundy Richards won one of those events, and I saw him in the paper afterwards. Okay. So I always remember that.
All right. That's a great story, actually. So how long till you actually came back to Cayman? Because then you came back for work reasons.
Since then, I've come back for fun and for work. I think I started working in 2013, thereabouts. Mm-hmm. Okay. So I've been in and out since 2013.
That's pretty good. Now, have you traveled quite a bit for work in this field?
I have traveled quite a bit, not necessarily in the practice of hematology oncology, but utilizing my other specialty, which is transfusion medicine, for example. I was working with the World Health Organization. I was on a contract with them in Guyana for some years, way back in 2006, I think.
Okay.
Right, I was there for 3 years.
With the WHO in Guyana. Have you been anywhere else outside of the Caribbean region?
Yes, I've worked in Canada and I've worked just in health systems.
Okay. How do you find the different health systems altogether compared to where Cayman is right now? Do you find the differences beneficial, growing, evolving? Because you've been around quite a bit. You've actually you're in a unique field, and you've actually done a fair bit of work across the Western Hemisphere, from north to south to the Caribbean. So you have a lot of perspective.
Well, you can never compare apples and oranges, but each country is unique. But when you look at where Cayman is at the moment, a very small country, but in terms of its healthcare, it's really one of the top line and beyond what you would expect in even some of the first world countries. Access to health,
absolutely,
rapidity of that, it's just excellent, and you're getting top class treatment.
That's, I think, reassuring for a lot of people to hear that. Especially coming from someone who has such a decorated background or such a diverse background. All right. And not to be a stranger to our fellow nurse here, Nurse Rosanna Humphreys-Johnson. Yes. There's a tongue twister day. There's been a few tongue twisters today that's caught me off guard. So walk us through a bit about your history and your professional history and what you do with the HSA.
Okay. I've actually been with HSA on and off for about 14 years. Okay. I've been in different capacities through the HSA. But in regards to my oncology, I actually started my oncology training when I was at Moffitt, and that's in Tampa. Okay. So I also have a background where I've seen, a different health system overseas, so I've worked in that capacity there, but also bringing that knowledge that I gained there to my people here on island as well. Okay. So, you have that added benefit that you've had, you have your own coming back home and giving you top class care. And that's our aim at the chemotherapy unit at HSA.
Now, when you say you went to Moffitt,
correct,
in Tampa, that was where you went for
That's where I worked.
That's where you worked?
Yes.
Where did you go to school for your nursing program?
I went to school at University of South Florida. Okay. If there are any Bulls out there, go Bulls. I'm
a fighting owl myself, so I'm going to have to knock you on that one and say I'm sorry that you're a Bull. I'm very sorry about that.
That's okay. But yes, that's where I got my nursing degree. And thereafter, I actually just fell into oncology. That wasn't my first passion, but thankfully...
When you say fell into it, you didn't trip
because
and fall
initially
into it.
When I started into nursing, I was really into neonatal intensive care. That's where I started.
Okay, that's a
tough
one.
It is a tough one, but I had a really great professor who clearly saw more in me and recommended oncology.
Okay.
And I started out and I just loved it, and I've been in it ever since.
For those listeners that may not be aware, what is oncology?
So oncology is a specialization of cancer, and that is in relation to solid tumors. So that includes breast, prostates, but we also do hematology as well. As Dr. Richards was saying, that we do a lot of blood-related disorders. So this is like the lymphomas, leukemias as well. Okay. So we have experience in all of those areas.
And how do you find coming from having that diverse background as well, being able to come from Tampa to here, how do you find, or do you find any challenges coming from that system to this system, or what benefits do you see for yourself and the community?
Right. There are a lot of benefits in regards to the fact that you can have that care done here without having to catch a plane and go overseas and find accommodations. You know, you can actually get all of your testing done here. You can see your physician here. And at the end of the day, you can also sleep in your own bed, which is, absolutely amazing. A lot of people forget that aspect of having some normalcy outside of, you having treatment as well. So that's the benefit. There are some aspects that are downsides because clearly we're a smaller community, we're a smaller hospital. So there are certain things that we may not be able to offer, such as stem cell transplants and that bone marrow transplants and things like that. However, we are growing. Medicine is changing every day. So, and as medicine changes, we are also trying to adapt to the changes as well. So, thankfully, now that we have our full-time oncologist and hematologist here, we're going to, work toward getting even more aspects here that we may not have had before.
Interesting.
So,
and
more services.
Not to ask, but I'm sure there's a listener at home that wants to ask a question. What do you foresee the day, and how far down the line do you foresee the day when we start seeing the stem cell? Is that around the corner now that we have the first block in place?
No pressure, Dr. Richards.
No, I think we have to move in stages with different things.
Okay.
And there are certain times when we will have to continue to access other specialties that are a little bit of a distance away, but it would make sense because of the whole comprehensive care that you need for something, for example, like bone marrow transplant, stem cell transplant. You may need liver transplant, name the different, some of the different kind of transplant that you want to have. You may want a different type of comprehensive together care that you may not have everything all at one time. And so sometimes it makes sense to continue to utilize services that are a little bit of a distance away while you look at what are the gaps and what you can do, and then we can look into that going forward.
Absolutely. From a business case standpoint, there was actually, the cases was made a number of years back for the medical tourism prospects, at which we've seen the fruits of happen, and perhaps that's down the line the next stepping stone, being the regional leader behind. Because right now, I agree with you. You said that K-Man does have a leadership role in his medical field. There's always room to improve. There's always room to grow, and you're in a field that constantly evolves on a daily basis. That's and I will say, just as a completely different side note, I commend you for the neonatal. It's an interesting one. It's a field that is extremely tough. I've known a few nurses in the past that were involved in it, and it's mentally and emotionally draining. Every nurse has gone through that emotionally draining, but that one in particular, I've always heard the hardest stories coming from. Anyhow, on that note, let's take a quick commercial break, and we come back, we'll be exploring more about the hematologist, oncologist, and Dr. Lundy Richards. We'll be back with more talk today right after this.
I'm going to Vant Motors to test drive the new 7-seater Rush.
They have some really sweet deals going on now, not true?
Yep, on SUVs. And they sweeten the deal by giving you a warm oven-baked cookie with each test drive.
Better test drive more than one, just to be sure.
Take a test drive for a sweet surprise this month at Vant Motors. Test drive any SUV and receive a freshly baked cookie. It's our way of saying thanks for dropping by to check out our huge sale on every SUV in stock. Save up to $4,400 during Vant's summer SUV sale. That's every SUV in stock on sale for thousands off or cash back. Sweeten the deal only at Vant Motors, Walkers Road. The Breeze Fusion is back Saturday, November 2nd.
Bigger and better.
Now featuring a 5K walk run and a 10K run for half marathon trainers. Join the fun and help raise funds for the Central Scranton Park and the NCVO. Save the date or register now at CaymanActive.com or at Radio Cayman Studios. Registration is only $15 if registered by September 30th. And all early registrants enter to win a Cayman Airways voucher. The Breeze Fusion 5K, 10K walk run, Saturday, November 2nd.
Work will soon launch Jobs Cayman, an online system that allows registered users to access job postings created by registered employers. This system offers a better approach to facilitate Caymanians in finding employment and allows employers to search for qualified and skilled Caymanians who are seeking employment. For more information on the registration process and what you need to register, visit www.worc.ky. Work, leading the pursuit of full Caymanian employment and economic prosperity for all through service excellence.
This is JJ the Iceman. This is JJ the Iceman.
This is where the ride begins. A magical musical journey.
Weeknights on Radio Cayman, 8 to 10. Music on Express. Friday nights, 8 to midnight.
Music Express.
Radio Cayman's Music Express is brought to you by Taster's Choice, home of the $3 meal special.
Listen to the general public.
Your thoughts are just a telephone call away. 1-800-534-8255.
What the public is saying.
Let your voice be heard. And now,
Radio Cayman's Talk Today.
And welcome back to Talk Today. In case you're just tuning in, I'm Raymond Singh, filling in for Sterling Dwayne Ebanks. We do have in the studio today for the last part of our show members from the HSA, Dr. Lundy Richards and Nurse Rosanna Humphreys-Johnson. Dr. Lundy is the now full-time hematologist-oncologist at the HSA. Dr. Lundy, I'll put the spotlight back on you. Walk us through, if you don't mind, not that every unit is important within the HSA, but walk us through why your unit is so important, why it's now so important that you are now here full-time.
The importance of hematology oncology is that we complement other services. We complement general medicine, surgery, emergency medicine, and we're able to provide responses to a number of conditions that will assist our colleagues to manage their patients more effectively. So whether it's a blood transfusion issue, whether it's somebody who comes in with low blood count, whether it's someone who has a clotting disorder or a bleeding disorder, or comes in with one of the hematological cancer that Nurse Joanna mentioned a while ago, or solid tumor cancer like breast cancer, prostate cancer, we play that complementary role in terms of having clinical discussions, arriving at diagnoses, and formulating part of the response or the treatment protocol towards those patients.
And for those who, like myself, who are completely unaware of some of the differences, what are the differences between the blood cancers and the solid elements? I'm not aware of what the differences might be other than...
Well, the blood cancers, they arrive usually within the bone marrow or what we call the lymphatic system. And those would include like the lymphomas and the leukemias. those mainly arise either throughout the way we call the hemopoietic system. Don't try to repeat that word.
You're throwing a lot of tongue twisters at me today. This is like I didn't need the next one to come along, but thank you for adding to my list of tongue twisters.
Yes, that within the bone marrow or the lymphatic system, which means for the ordinary person out there, the kernels under the arm, the neck, the groin. We have conditions that can arrive in the liver or the spleen. Those are generally from hematological point of view. And of course, we know the solid tumors, which we talk about, the breast cancers and so on.
Okay. Kind of just ran around. Anything you wanted to add on to that past that conversation with regards to the oncology side and the what word would I use then if that's the blood cancer, the regular?
So, sorry, say that again.
With the regular cancer? I hate even
well,
say what I just said, but I don't know what I don't.
There's really no regular
yeah,
cancer.
I didn't know how to say it.
We just typically, once we get a referral in for a patient, we split it up in terms of hematological cancer or solid tumor. So typically our solid tumors are primarily what we see here and what we treat presently. So that's the breast, the prostate, the colon especially. And a lot of the hematological patients, like the leukemias primarily, right now, they're majority of them would have to go to a different facility to get further treatment. And the premise for that is because they require so much blood products during their treatment. And at the moment, we can't get that capacity of blood products that we would require instantaneously for safety. So a lot of those patients we start their initial diagnosis here, and then we transfer them overseas.
So we just had a question coming off air. Sure. Off there. Why is a person's blood count important? What does that mean when we say your blood count? That might sound like the obvious question to you, but for us non-medical folks anymore, what does that mean?
Okay, so blood count often referred to as the hemoglobin count, which some people refer to as the iron count in the blood. And it is important because it is the hemoglobin that takes the oxygen around the body. And if it is low, below a certain level, then we begin to have different effects. It can send us into heart failure. We begin to have headache, weakness, fatigue. And
is that due to low oxygen levels in our
because
system?
of the low oxygen level, some people find out that, hey, they used to be able to jog a mile in 7 minutes. Now they can't jog 200 meters. They begin to get shortness of breath. Sometimes they begin to even get chest pains. So it is important to keep it at what we call a physiological level, which allows the body systems to work appropriately.
And as far as general advice that you might be able to offer for people to maintain their levels?
Well, one of the most important things is nutrition. Having appropriate nutrition.
And what does that mean as far as specifics? I'm going to put you right in the spot here. Are you telling me to eat more spinach? Are you telling me to eat more iron-based foods?
Balanced diet.
Balanced diet.
A healthy, balanced diet. Everything in moderation.
Because
I mean, you can't necessarily dictate to somebody and say you must eat greens, or you must always eat fruit, because it's not realistic. And at the end of the day, you want it to be a maintained healthy lifestyle. And there's no one that will maintain a healthy lifestyle if you start dictating, okay, this, that. So across the board, we typically just advised a healthy, balanced diet. If persons want to go into more specifics, then we have an excellent nutrition at HSA that can go into further detail.
We'll have to have her on the show.
Yes, that she's actually really excellent with our oncology patients and hematology patients as well. So she goes a little bit more in depth.
That's great. We've done a few shows on the nutrition side of things, and the importance. One of the truly unfortunate parts is of unfortunately does take an incident in a lot of people's cases to make the radical shift to eating healthy. It's that's Mother Nature's way of saying, uh-oh, you waited too long. I'm going to mess something up first and get you back on track. But you're right, because you can't dictate to people to change habits. If habits were that easy to change, we all would have done it a long time ago.
Absolutely.
That's the reality of the case. And it was really important to have these conversations. And when you talk about the balanced diet, it's absolutely, it's an extremely important scenario. Was there anything else you want to add on the, not to, because I took away from the talk earlier about the services on the oncology side of things. Okay. Was there anything you wanted to add on that? Not to take.
So one thing I would like to add to the general public is what we have noticed as well is when patients do have certain symptoms and they tend to ignore it until later on. So one good advice that I could give is, if you do have a concern, go into your GP and voice that concern, because, we don't want to find patients that are at a later stage. We try as much as possible to encourage balanced diet, healthy lifestyle, exercise, but make sure you're going up to your follow-up appointments, making sure that you're doing your pap smears and your colonoscopies, just so that we are here if need be. Clearly, we don't want to have anybody to have cancer, but we are here for that premise. So we want to just make sure that everybody is making sure to do their follow-up appointments. It is so important. And there are services available. There are promotions through Cancer Society as well as Breast Cancer Foundation, who've also been very excellent with our patients. And the services are there for you. You just need to go out and get them.
And we should probably also mention on that one as well, we had the Lions Club of Grand Cayman in studio
right,
today.
Absolutely. They've done really great things
PSA
as well.
testing, which I believe was just yesterday.
Yes.
As well. And but you're absolutely right as far as the various services that are out there. Dr. Richards, anything else you wanted to add on the services that will be available at the HSA now that you're full-time?
The important thing is that people should recognize that, especially for us, for access to hematology oncology, it's almost instantaneous. Right, so people.
What do you mean it's instantaneous?
Which means that your appointment is almost immediate.
Okay, great.
Right, and so there's easy access, quick turnaround time for diagnoses, and what if treatment is necessary, specific treatment is necessary. If it's only counseling that is necessary, that this is available almost immediately. And important, as you mentioned, going to your GP or or your surgeon or whoever it is who can then send a referral across to the hematology oncology unit.
Folks, we are just about out of time. Thank you so much for all that. It was actually very informative. A very short interview, but a very informative one. Again, to our listeners, that was Dr. Lundy Richards, the now full-time hematologist-oncologist. I nailed it on that time. And Nurse Rosanna Humphreys-Johnson. Thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you so much for having us.
Appreciate it. On that note, we do need to call it a wrap for Talk Today this afternoon. Thank you again, as always, to all of our loyal listeners out there in Radio Cayman Nation, and to our guests from the Cayman Drama Society, Scranton Community Committee, and the HSA, and of course to the one and only Miss Susan Watson. I'm Raymond Singh. God bless, and have a fantastic rest of your Wednesday.